Hey, what's going on, Washington Football X? It's your boy Rod. We are back with Pod 78 Squad Up. So anyone who remembers Stack Bundles, one of my favorite MCs, passed away a couple years ago. 2007 is crazy, man. But I think I go with that title. But Phil, please kick off Pod 78 for us.
Pod number 78 is going to be dedicated to Tim Johnson. Tim Johnson was defensive tackle for the Washington Redskins from 1990 until 1995. Was a steady starter for 4 of those 6 seasons for the Gibbs team, the Pettibone team, and that first couple years under Norv Turner. He was one of the few guys that survived the initial purge when we went to the salary cap. Was not, a fantastic pass rusher, but he definitely helped collapse the pocket. Was a solid run stuffer. He was a starting defensive tackle on the 91 Super Bowl team. Tied for the team lead in sacks in 92 with 6, him and Wilbur Marshall. And just, again, one of those stalwart guys that, people forget because he wasn't a flashy name, but he was a solid name. I almost picked Corey Lichtensteiger for this, but I wasn't the biggest Corey Lichtensteiger fan back in the day, but I was a big Tim Johnson fan. So shout out to Tim Johnson, Penn State alumni as well. So we are. And just, wanted to give some love to a guy who's been kind of unfortunately forgotten at the time.
No, definitely, man. It's good to see him. We're also joined this evening by one of the Addicts, Cody Jones. So welcome, Cody, man. Definitely happy to have you here. Phil just introduced the pod. You listen to the pod, so you know what that's all about. But we're going to dive right into the first topic, and we got something from the mailbag. So we got one of the Addicts, Mike Pyatt from the Eddie and Mike Pyatt. He asked us a pretty simple question, but I think that's one that has to be answered across the entire NFL landscape. But who's the surprise cut this year for the Washington football team? And Phil, I'll kick it to you first. Who do you think is our first surprise cut?
The first surprise cut. It's hard to say because, there's big name cuts, but we kind of expect them. Like I keep saying, the first big cut I expect to see would be Steven Sims Jr., but I think a lot of people are expecting him to be cut. So surprise cut, I'm going to call AGG. I think that with all the talent we have at wide receiver now, as opposed to what AGG did not show us last season, I just don't think there's room for him on this roster when we have other guys who we know can get that job done. I know, and the thing that's shocking and surprising is that you would bail on a guy after only one rookie season, but the fact that they went out and got all these guys at receiver, I'm saying it's going to be AGG. Will be the first surprise.
Okay. And I'm going to kick it to the guest of the hour, Cody Jones, joining us from the Washington Football Addicts group. Cody, who do you think is going to be our first surprise cut this year, man? You agree with Phil, or you're going somewhere different?
Cody, you're muted.
Hold on, he's muted. Hold on, Cody. It's not letting me unmute you.
Yes,
there you go.
Technical difficulty.
There you go. Anything?
Don't hear you, Cody.
That's all good, Cody. We're going to kick it to Phil. Let you try to not to Phil, but Dev, while you try to work with the settings. But Dev, who's your surprise cut, man?
John Bostic.
Okay.
I think we'll have, as Steve Lim said, AGG 89 catches, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns.
He wanted to get that in his career.
He didn't do it in college. But, I'm going him because I just think we have a lot of depth at middle linebacker. I heard a little bit of a squeal there.
Well, we have in Facebook. I don't have the Facebook list pulled up.
I don't know who the Facebook user is, but Peyton Barber, surprise cut. So that's interesting to me. So that assumes that who's the damn rookie we just got, undrafted free agent? Another thumper. Steve knows his name, I'm sure, but damn it, Steve, why aren't you here? But yeah, Peyton Barber, he was odd for us last year. Like I thought we would keep Adrian Peterson in that Peyton Barber type role. But if Peyton Barber leaves us, perhaps that's a good thing. That means that we're truly getting depth. So, yeah, AGG being a beast in college, agree, man. Jarrett Patterson, thanks, Steve. God, you're the man. You're the man. Yeah, Jarrett Patterson, he looked good in minicamp. So I very much would like to see him actually take over that thumper role for us. I think that would be a great pickup for sure. I'm going to try to see if we can kick it to Cody Jones again and see if his mic is working, man. Cody, are you there?
I don't know. Hopefully, man. You hear me?
Yes, we got
Yeah,
sound.
we hear you now.
There be light.
There it is, finally. No, I'm getting cracked.
It's real low, brother. It's really low.
I'm going to go upstairs. I got kids upstairs, so I'm trying to hang out downstairs away from them, but I'm going to see if I can get closer to the Wi-Fi for you.
Okay.
I got a lot of stairs here, man. I'm taking that.
All right, brother.
It was Eric Berner on Facebook that said Peyton Barber will be a surprise cut. Steve, who unfortunately couldn't join us live, said Jarrett Patterson was his surprise cut.
No. Jarrett's the name he was giving me for
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying Jarrett was going to be a surprise cut.
No, I don't think so.
That would be a little bit of a surprise because everybody's kind of see him as this dark horse to potentially take carries away from Gibson. People think that while Gibson would still be the one, that Patterson's going to eat into some of that workload.
I don't think he touches the field unless somebody's hurt or unless we're running the clock out and we need to just get some bodies out there to not be those him running it. I don't think that happens. Somebody's going to have to get hurt for that to happen. I don't think Peyton Barber barely got carries. I guess like in the Pittsburgh game, he got a touchdown or something like that. I can see maybe that role. But I say if he does it, if he gets on the team, which I think he will, that those are the kind of carries he'll get, Peyton Barber type of carries. I don't think that he's going to push for first team offensive carries unless somebody's hurt. And I actually think even if somebody's hurt, they probably go somewhere else, get somebody else, and still use him as a backup.
I'm going to try to kick it to Cody again. So, Cody, I think you're here again. Who's your surprise cut, man?
I got to go with Harmon. I just don't see there being – I don't see there being any room for him. We got a stacked receiver room. I love the way the guy blocks. I think he's a stud, but I just don't see him making it. It's practice squad. Hopefully he doesn't get poached, but he's my guy. I
kind of agree with him, man. He kind of occupies the same space as Cam Sims.
Right.
And I've been watching here lately this year's Washington games just out of boredom. Today I actually watched two of them. I watched the Tampa Bay game and the Pittsburgh game. And, man, Cam Sims was – second half of that game was Cam Sims' game.
Right.
Can you really say out of the 1 year we saw Harmon, he had any games where it was his game?
No, that's crazy. That's definitely a good take. So I'm going to roll into the next one. It came from Angela Rowe on the Facebook group, but she said, "Hey, will AGG make the team?" And we already said which receiver is going to be cut. So you're saying Harmon will be cut over AGG, which their production is sort of similar. I'll kick it to you, Cody, again. Do you agree with her? Do you think that AGG is going to make the team? Will he be cut as well?
He's my other guy. If it's not Harmon, it's going to be AGG, obviously.
Damn.
What about Isaiah Wright?
I think with Harmon's injuries and stuff, I just don't see him coming back full. I think AGG might be able to get in there.
Steven Sims and Isaiah Wright
going for him, so I don't know.
Hey, what about Isaiah Wright and Steven Sims Jr.?
Yeah, it's a crowded room, man.
Steve-O's gone, man. Sims Jr.
Yeah,
done.
Sims Jr. is gone. Isaiah Wright is gone because Isaiah Wright was just as, to me, for all the buzz and the hype. I'm sorry, but turning wide receiver screens into 3-yard gains consistently does not cut it for me. So I think Isaiah Wright's gone. I really think that Adam Humphries is going to be probably the guy they look at as punt returner.
So the homie Fred Brown, longtime addict,
Andre Roberts plays what's the name? The other Daryl Roberts plays punt return, kick return, right?
Yeah, but here's so obviously Fred's saying, "Hey, Sims ain't going nowhere. Y'all tripping." But a question, I'm not sure who's saying it on Facebook. the question was asked: could Jarrett Patterson be a punt returner? Did he perform that role in college? Does anyone know?
I don't think so.
He did not. And that's Jason Downaway that asked that question. Jarrett Patterson was not a punt returner in college. And it would be interesting, but that's not how he's built. Jarrett Patterson is a short, squatty guy. For a guy who's got such a small stature, he is more of a power back. He wouldn't be someone I would see back there juking dudes out on punt returns. But sorry, Fred, Steven Sims Jr. does not cut it in this wide receiver room.
Yeah, I sort of agree. He's just, I think with Humphreys coming on the team, I think that he's going to be the odd man left out. So
who do you guys have starting? This starting three. Do we do that already?
Nah, but for me, I'm going to say Cam Sims Jr. I'm going to say obviously F1 McLaurin, and I'm going to say Samuel.
I agree with you, man. I'm wondering though if they use Samuel outside and put Humphreys inside.
Could. I mean, hell, create mismatches, man. That's what we really want to do.
If that's the case, who else you got playing slot if something goes down?
Here's where you're gonna run into an issue. Man. Not an issue, it's a good issue. The two I can say are starting are gonna be Samuel and McLaurin. But you got Humphreys, you got De'Ami Brown. If Harmon shows up like he did at the end of 2019, you've got Kelvin Harmon. You've got Cam Sims. You got a lot of guys in there before we start getting to Steven Sims, AGG, Isaiah Wright. These are all guys who are at the bottom of this barrel. Now, I just listed 5 receivers right there who are all going to get significant playing time. And we keep forgetting De'Ami Brown's on this team. He's not going to do special teams, but that dude's a burner. Absolute straight line down the field, take the top off type burner.
That's right. That's right, man.
Crack the top 4. He's going to be in the top 4. You watch?
Yeah, I think so. He's been making a lot of plays in camp so far. I mean, obviously training camp hasn't happened, but mini camp and OTAs, all those other things. Yeah, De'Ami Brown was definitely turning heads for sure. And I know Fred Brown's going to end up getting the jersey as he should. But Facebook user, sorry, the names aren't popping up.
It's Eric Berner. Eric Berner said Danny Johnson.
Yeah, I know.
Danny Johnson's a defensive back. He's not going to make the team.
You don't think so?
Man, who you going to not keep? That's the thing. He's not a bad player, but who you going to not keep to keep him play kick return?
You can keep Danny as a 4th or 5th corner.
Man, you ain't going to keep him as a 4th or 5th corner because you got 4 or 5 other corners on the team. You
got one that can play special teams as well.
Man, there's a bunch of guys on offense that can play his job, though. You don't want to keep that guy. And who you going to take? Who's not going to make the team for Danny Johnson at defensive back? Who's not going to make it?
Apke.
He's not making it. But I count him as not making it. But look who's going to make it. Fuller, the guy we got from Cincinnati, Williams. Then you got the Juice. He's probably going to make it. Then you got Moreland. And then you're going to keep Danny Johnson on top of that. And then you also got like a big thing of safeties on the team. Everett.
There's going to be a bunch of safeties cut.
Yeah, Everett Reed's your boy we got from the Carolina Panthers. And then you got that's too many defensive backs. We're not keeping 20 defensive backs, are we?
Nah, I don't think so. But look at Steve. Steve's holding on YouTube for us, man. But T Mac, Samuel, Humphreys, Brown, roll with Thomas and Bates at tight end. What about Samus Reyes? Don't count him out either.
I think Samus Reyes makes the team.
I think he'll probably be a practice squad guy. I mean, who knows? His physical attributes, he looks promising. Like you look at the guy, you're like, holy shit, is he a linebacker or a tight end? He's stacked, but
he had it before Bates. Before Bates came along, he might have made it. But now that we got Bates, hell no. No, he's gone.
But Bates is an actual tight end as well, where Simus Reyes is doing a sport transfer from basketball to football.
They're going to keep more than 2 tight ends.
Fred, we're not cutting people, man. We're just discussing. man.
We're not trying to cut people. We're trying
to all make the team. I know.
Logan, we got Bates, and we got...
You can only keep 53.
They're all going to make the team. Why not? Reyes gone.
I want like 10 tight ends. Fuck it.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Man, I love the tight end, man.
Justin Sawyer saying Reyes is gone. We signed that dude to an actual contract, though.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He got signed to a contract.
He's going to be like a calendar model for the WF team dance squad or some shit.
Oh man.
He might.
Are you saying that they're going to be selling Sausage Fest calendars to everybody?
Not me. I don't know.
We need to change the channel.
Eddie Pickering from the mailbag, the last mailbag submission, he said that every wide receiver, free agent wide receiver, was linked to Washington. So stop doing that. I think we're getting better. I think we are, and I think the days of us constantly clamoring for talent is behind us, hopefully, or at least close to being behind us. But it's funny to still see that. I saw Matt Ryan linked to the Washington football team earlier today on YouTube. Probably crazy. It should be crazy, but I'm like, yeah, it's everyone. If someone wants to make money, they're going to link them to Washington just with the history behind it. But I think are moving past that. I hope so. But
we are no
gentlemen,
longer the graveyard where people go to die and get their last paycheck.
Exactly. That is good. So here's something where somebody did come to die though. Dwight Schrute banned for life from NFL ownership. Fair or foul? Fair or foul? So, Cody, just because you had said that comment, people don't come here to die, but it looks like someone just did recently. So, Dwight Schrute, if those who aren't tracking, he was the minority owner for the Washington football team, was trying to extort Dan Snyder of some money to get him to force a sale, the raise of his stakes into ownership, and obviously what it's worth. So, fair or foul? Do you agree with the NFL banning him from any sort of NFL ownership in the future? And Cody, I'll kick it to you, brother.
Yeah, I don't think it's awful. I mean, dude's a douche. Get the fuck out. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of strange that they don't imply any more fines on anybody else or any more punishment. He's just straight up gone. But we'll let Kraft go bang some hookers. Whatever, ain't no big deal. I kind of got mixed feelings about it, but at the end of the day, yeah, get him the fuck out. I don't want you.
It's interesting because you think about the $10 million that the team was just fined, for their sexual harassment case, and then being banned from owning an NFL franchise. That's a hundreds of millions of dollar fine, essentially. So it was interesting for me to see that. But Phil, how do you feel about them banning Dwight Schrute?
I feel like the Beth Wilkinson report.
Oh, we lost Cody.
Yeah, we lost Cody. So unfortunately, he didn't get to hear this, but hopefully he will later on. I think that this proves that the Beth Wilkinson report did unearth some things we didn't know. And I think one of those things we didn't know was that Dwight Schrute himself may have had a lot more in the way of nefarious activities going on than all the activities we attributed to Dan Snyder, I think might have been Dwight Schrute. Remember, he did have a significant portion of the team. So I think Dwight Schrute was implicated in that Beth Wilkinson report. So while we all thought Danny was the all evil, all horrible person, appears Dwight Schrute may have had some skeletons in that closet he was trying to hide.
Yeah, buddy. Dev, how you feeling about Dwight Schrute? Do you give a damn? Screw him. You got too much money.
Fuck Dwight Schrute, boy. I mean, keep it 100. I don't know, man. Like, I think you guys are both right. Obviously, they found something in there because he got the stiffest punishment of anyone. You can never be a part of an ownership of any franchise in the NFL. That's a pretty big deal. So something must have went on with Dwight Schrute that we don't know about. So, good riddance if he's part of any of that bullying and sexual harassment stuff. Don't let the good Lord hit you, split you where the good Lord, whatever it said is. Don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you.
Yeah, I'm down with that. But for those who are looking at the stream, a good comment from Fred Brown. I really agree with it. I think it's dope. I'll put up here again. Let's do an Addicts 53-man roster contest. $5 per roster submitted. Half to the winner and half goes to support the podcast. So I think that'd be awesome, man. We try to put together a quality stream for you guys, quality podcast, and I would love that, man. So if you guys are interested, definitely wfaddicts@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter. You have our Twitter handles, and or hit us up in the Facebook group. But yeah, that would be an awesome thing to consider, man. And Steve, talking about Shar, he said he had a lot of stuff going on. Don't forget the Indian media company stuff. So yeah, we know Dan is currently in litigations with that company in India for posting that or publishing that slanderous article. So yeah, I mean, maybe the NFL truly had fire where there was smoke with Dwight Shar, but definitely interesting. So DC Defenders owner, yeah, perhaps that's Dwight Schar's future. We shall see. Moving on, gentlemen, most overrated player for the Washington football team that we have on our roster right now. And Phil, I'll kick it to you first. Who do you think is our most overrated player that's currently suiting up in burgundy and gold?
Most overrated is such a tough one because that means I got to down somebody. I'm going to make a lot of enemies with this one. Brandon Sheriff. I think he was. You know what? Fred Brown even said better. Taylor Heineke. He'd be a close second, but I think Sheriff is getting paid way more than he should on this franchise tag deal. Heineke is at least only making peanuts. Yeah, Sheriff was all pro last year, but realistically, last year wasn't even his best season, in my opinion. I think he started the season pretty unsteady. He picked it up, especially after he came back from injury. He came back a different player. And I even said, I hope while he's gone, he finds his game. And apparently he did. But there are times in which Brandon Sheriff disappears. And if you're going to be a franchise tag player and you're going to be all pro, you should be always present in a positive way. And there were times where he was playing B-, C+ grade games. You are paid to be A+ all the time. And I don't get that from Brandon Sheriff. I like Brandon Sheriff. I don't love Brandon Sheriff. And a lot of people just assume that because he was all pro, well, he's doing great. Well, no. If you watch carefully, they're playing time, especially early in the season, he did not show up.
I mean, Brandon Sheriff played great to me, but he just didn't play $18 million a year great. That's why he's overrated, in my opinion. Like Steve said it best, money is a big factor in being overrated. Heineke can get paid shit. So, I mean, you look at what's the next highest paid guard in the league? Like 13, 14 million?
Yeah, like 14 million is the next highest paid guard. So Sheriff just falls in the top 10. I think he's like the 7th highest paid offensive lineman.
Right.
And then tied for 10, and those are all tackles up there. And then tied for 10th place is another guard. I don't know the name off the top.
How much is Trent making? About 20?
Like 22 million a year, I believe.
Right. I mean, this guy's asking for 20 million a year next year. So if you think he's better than Trent Williams, then he's not overrated. But he's not. Let's just keep it real. He's not Trent when Trent was here. I would not pay Trent $21 million a year, and he's great. There's no way you can justify paying a guard $18 to $21 million a year.
So let me give you this. Brandon Sheriff is the number one paid guard in the league at $18,036,000. Number 2 is Joe Thuney of the Chiefs at $16 million.
Right. Can't do it.
Number 3 is Brandon Brooks at $14,087,000. And number 4 is Zach Martin at $14 million. I don't think Brandon Sheriff at his best is $4 million better than Zach Martin.
Who's the Facebook user said Brandon Sheriff was his pick, and it would also be J.D. McKissick, because J.D. McKissick's 80 catches a year, man. He makes $1 million or some shit. I mean,
I would not say J.D. McKissick is overrated because J.D. McKissick does what we want. Eric Burns said that. Eric Burns says he's underrated.
He's underrated, right? That dude. I'm a J.D. McKissick fan. You're preaching to the choir here. I love J.D. McKissick, but yeah, I agree with you, Phil. Brandon Sheriff. If not him, Man, it's hard to come with a. I mean, you could say Landon Collins, but he ain't really. I don't think he played bad.
He was hurt.
Right. I'm gonna go Hopkins. What's he making?
750,000.
Yeah, he makes about 625,000 too much. You know what I'm saying? I'm going Hopkins because she already said my guy.
Yeah, man. Next, Fred has a good comment though, and it makes sense. The next guard up will be the highest paid guy, and that's unfortunately that's just the way of the game. I hope that we pay Brandon Sheriff sooner rather than later. Sooner being like this month. Give him a long-term deal or trade him. I want him to stay. I think
I gotta let him go. I gotta let him go for another 18 or 20 million. I gotta let him go, man.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, our cap is supposed to be like 60 million next year, but I mean that's kind of lies. It doesn't tell the whole truth when you start signing future contracts. But you got to do it. You got to do it. Cody.
I will say this. I'll say this about everybody. A lot of people said Heineke. Heineke is the most overhyped, which is different than overrated. A lot of people see a lot of potential in him, but they'll readily admit that we don't know what he's got. They just hope he's got something. There's a difference.
Yeah, Cody, who's your overrated player, brother?
I'm going to go with Collins.
Okay.
We're paying him too much for doing not enough. Dude's not on the field. You know, we got Cam right behind him going, I'm playing better than you. I mean, he's kind of my joker for maybe getting that surprise cut as well. I mean, that's a big-ass contract for not much production.
Yeah, and I was looking at the numbers for his contract today too, man, and I think if they were to cut him this year, it'd be like a $16 million against the cap.
Yeah,
it makes sense to keep him and then perhaps cut him next year and or trade him. But that contract is pretty hefty, so it's going to be difficult to move Collins. It sucks to call him overrated because I think he does his job well in the box. It's coverage, and that's always been his Achilles heel. Even when he was with the Giants, he wasn't good in coverage. So if they scheme him up to play closer to the line of scrimmage, he won't be as overrated as he is right now. With Cam Curl I think Collins had like a 116 passer rating against him. Cam Curl had like an 87 passer rating against him. And this is just something I read earlier. I don't have the exact numbers, but that's a huge difference in coverage ability. But we know that Landon Collins can definitely come in the box and thump with the best of them. So we kind of go forward with that.
Yeah,
but good. Go ahead.
Swallowing that contract, but
no, it's tough, man. It is tough. But Dev put out a good poll on Twitter. I'm going to put this at the bottom of the banner right now. Better rookie year, Young or Kerrigan for the Washington football team. So, Cody, I'll kick it to you first, man. Better rookie year.
Kerrigan is always my guy. I love the dude to death, but Young, hands down, no question, easy, Young. Yeah, I mean, if he wasn't getting sacks, he was disrupting plays. He was commanding double teams. I mean, he allowed our defense to work. And I mean, I'm a hardcore, long-term Kerrigan fanboy of the worst kind, but there's no denying Young. He's the man. He is the man.
No, good stuff. Yeah, I'll tell you what. For the folks who are watching this live stream, I just want to shout out to Steve before we get to the shout-out section. I feel like I'm driving the Starship Enterprise right now. There's so much shit going on, and I'm trying to keep up with this. Steve, I love you, bro. Like, you are really good at this, but I'll kick it to you, man. Dev, what do you feel about better rookie year, Kerrigan or Young, man?
It's really hard. I understand the sentiment that everything that's brand new is better. You know, it's the best game I ever saw in my life. It's the best shot I ever saw in my life. And we tend to forget the things that went on before. They both had 7.5 sacks. They both had 4 forced fumbles. They both had 1 touchdown. I don't know who had the most tackles. I think that might have been closer than you think. And you got to add the fact that Kerrigan played more of an outside linebacker than a defensive end at that point. You know, I'm going to say Kerrigan just because he played out of position on top of it. I know you're going to say a rock pole was on the other side helping, but I mean, you think the Kerrigan to have Payne, Allen, Ioannidis, and you know your boy Montez on the other side.
I love him.
I'm not going to knock it. I don't think you.
Cody's agreeing with you. He said Kerrigan's his guy at least. He still give the nod to Young.
I don't think it's a bad choice either way. But I'm going to go Kerrigan based on just based on what I saw. I like Young though. I think Young will be better than him. But
I think
rookie year, yeah, ultimately he's as good as him. He's better than him now, probably.
I'm looking at Phil have a miniature stroke.
Yeah. I'm going to go Kerrigan, man.
Dev. I love you, Dev.
I'm going to go Kerrigan.
No. Kerrigan got what he got. And don't get me wrong. I
got the same thing Young got. Exactly.
Let me give you a little backstory here. I loved Kerrigan when he came out. I thought it was a great pick. I was so hyped when he had that tipped interception for a touchdown against the Giants in his first game. All right. Let's put that on the table right now. But yes, they both had 7.5 sacks. Both had a defensive touchdown. Both had four forced fumbles. Say that 6 times.
Kerrigan did it playing out of position too, by the way.
Kerrigan did that going against a right tackle only. Chase Young got his facing a right tackle, right guard, and running backs at times or tight ends.
You don't think they doubled Kerrigan ever?
No, they didn't. I watched those games.
Man.
I give you that right now. Go watch them. Kerrigan was disappearing against single team. He was going one-on-one with guys, and he was getting singled up, and he was disappearing. Which is always my problem with Kerrigan is that he would disappear for stretches for no reason.
Yeah, I don't think Kerrigan is going to be better than Young or is better than Young. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm saying the first year there.
Yeah, Young produced the same as Kerrigan going against a lot more in the way of blocking.
Yeah.
Who was the defensive coordinator back then?
Joe Barry probably or somebody like that.
Right. That's an easy win right there for Young. He had Joe Barry.
Hold on. I'll look it up right now. I'm going to look this up because now you ask.
Young has a lot of things you got to worry about on defense, man. To his credit, to the Washington football team's credit, I think they got a lot of things on defense.
Make me go look at the 2011 Redskins and John Beck and all that bullshit.
Hey, Fred takes my comment because that's what I was going to say. Kerrigan, all he did was just this every play. His entire career.
Let me take this back. Let me rewind this. It was not Joe Barry. It was Jim Haslett.
Even worse.
Jim Haslett was a proven coordinator in this league.
Man, Jim Haslett.
I think the best defensive coordinator we had until Del Rio.
Haslett sucks.
Marvin Lewis.
Okay, now I'm talking about from since. Who was the guy? Damn it, Greg Blosh was the best. But since Greg Blosh, until we had Del Rio, it was Jim Haslett. Sorry. Joe Barry was ass. Greg Minuski was ass.
I'm moving on to Charlotte because I don't even want to talk about those scumbags anymore. That's just hurts my name.
Who do you got, Rod? Who you got? Kerrigan's rookie year, Young's rookie year. Who you got?
Young, he transformed the heart and soul of the defense. That's the difference.
Y'all changed my mind. I'm going Young too. Y'all got
with Young. Okay, so now with Young, I felt like, and it's a topic that causes a lot of divide in our fan base. Young in 2020 was the defensive equivalent to 2012 Robert Griffin III. Like I just felt like we had a chance defensively at least.
Don't put that curse on him, Ricky Bobby.
Hey, I'll make a beat. But nah, man, like Young was phenomenal, man. And I still like his favorite play was, coming across the side with against the Bengals and then going down and pursuing Joe Burrow and knocking them out the game. That was It sucked that he knocked the guy out the game, but getting that fumble and all the other stuff, like that was just huge for me, man. So yeah, I gotta give the nod to Chase Young, man. He's the guy. But shout outs, man. So Chase wasn't there last year. We don't make the playoffs. Difference maker and team leader. Love Kerrigan, but don't ever see him take the leadership role in that defense. Yeah, did Kerrigan ever have a captain's patch?
He did.
He did. Okay. Fuck Ryan Kerrigan. He moved to Philly now, scumbag.
Ryan Kerrigan didn't get
I'm going with Young. That sealed it right there. Yeah, fuck Ryan Kerrigan. He just one of those showstopper dance moves. I want him dead. No, I don't.
I love you while you're here. You're gone now. That's where
right.
love is. Homie, sorry. That's how it goes.
Yep. Exactly.
Ring of fame. Sure. Hell yeah. But
it's like the Godfather. I want him dead.
Right. Sorry,
I want his house burnt to the ground. I want I want a horse thrown on his head, thrown on his bed. I want all that shit, man. I want him. Don't let him. Whatever you do. Let everybody else sack your ass. Don't let Kerrigan sack the quarterback, man.
Whoever lets Kerrigan
sack the quarterback, man, can't play no more the rest of the year.
I would love it if we put Samuel Cosmi at right tackle and he just goose eggs Kerrigan. That would be the most glorious thing ever. I would love it.
Get cut in Philly, man.
Yeah, I will admit it. I want to see that. I want to see that bad.
You want to see him get cut?
I don't want to see my guy get smoked, but I kind of want to see my guy get smoked a lot.
He's gonna drive himself into Cosmi's chest, and as Brandon Sheriff pointed out, Cosmi is a physical beast, and Cosmi's just gonna be like, "Dude, you're going nowhere."
I believe what you're saying.
It's gonna
be Leno and Lucas anyway.
Let me give you a hug, homie, because you're staying right here.
It's gonna be Leno and Lucas anyways, Phil.
I don't know about that.
It's gonna be Leno and Lucas.
I want to give a shout out to Cody Jones, man. So you've been rocking with us for a while in the Addicts, man, and I forget you're living in what, North Dakota?
Montana, yeah, North
Montana. So you're up in Montana. There's not obviously that's probably not a huge Washington football team /
Any black people in Montana?
There.
It's me.
It's like me. Me, my dad.
Nobody up here. Like people talk.
I know, man, but
shit, man. Like this doesn't happen. This is fucking awesome.
No, I'm glad you found us, man. It's the invite's always open, man. So it's a pleasure to have you here. But I'll kick it to Phil.
I'm gonna get a phone that doesn't suck so bad, so my mic isn't all messed up, and I gotta keep loading and unloading shit here. Like,
right.
It's all good, man. It's still a blast.
This is great, man. Love it.
Hey, you know what? We always love having you on the live pregame pods and everything else that we do. So always glad to have you on, Cody. My shout out to Steve. He couldn't be with us on camera tonight. Shout out to Rod for learning this StreamYard thing on the fly.
I feel like Minority Report, man. I'm just like moving screens and stuff. It's crazy, dude.
And my other shout out is going to be to, and I did shout this guy out before, but he's really stepped it up. If you want Redskins games, classic games online on YouTube, HTTR 1983. I can't pimp this guy out enough. He's putting up games. There are no huddle versions. He's clipping out all the stuff between the plays. After you get the starting lineups, there's nothing except action. From the screen name is HTTR 1983. You get to watch full length games and only take you 40 minutes to an hour. And yeah, and I'll tell you what, he made my next way back easier because that's at HTTR 1983 on YouTube. I don't know who that dude is. I need to track him down. I need to get him on here because that dude is putting in a lot of work. And he's even got like some of the games. He synced up the radio broadcast with like Frank Herzog, Sonny Jurgensen, and Sam Huff. He synced it up perfectly with the game.
Oh wow!
With the video of the game, like on Fox or whatever. He synced that up. It's awesome. He's definitely made my next way back, which is going to be, I'm going to cover 1992. It's going to be the last ride of Joe Gibbs 1.0, which was 1992. He's got a ton of games from 92 up there, and it's such a fascinating season. So I was kind of going through a couple different ideas for my next way back, and I saw he had all these games. I said, boom, buddy, you're making my job so much easier. So shout out to him. That if y'all want to go see what this team could do back in the day, yeah, look it up. I mean, he's got mostly great games, a couple bad ones, just to keep it honest, but he's got some classics up there.
Damn. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm gonna go like his page, subscribe, and I'm already subscribed. So now I'll at least put the bell on so I can get the notification. So y'all do the same for us, though. Subscribe to the podcast, man. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit your bell. Get notified when we go live. And I like the shout out from the Facebook user here. Phil, you have to tell us who it is. But Mike Sellers and Darrell Young, bring back the fullbacks. Hell yeah, man. I would very much love to have a fullback. But
that's Eric Berner. Eric Berner, you're speaking my language. You're speaking my language.
Love the fullback thumpers for sure, man. Dev, who's getting your shout out before we close out the pod, man?
You want to bring something back? Bring back the band. Fuck all that noise.
Oh, hell yeah.
But no, my shout out is going to be I'm going to watch Black Widow tonight. You know, my friends do hood rat things with my girlfriend. But that's about all I'm going to do, man. That's my shout out to my girl. Let me watch Black Widow to play Xbox.
Shout out the band. Shout out Rio. Because he caught it from us on the band on Twitter.
Oh yeah, you said Rio.
Hey, by the way, Rio, my name's Phil.
And that song.
Next time you start shouting out everybody's name individually, remember Phil. Remember me, because I'm the one you forgot.
Shout out to
I'm
Rio,
sure he
man.
still loves you, man. He's giving shout outs to Eric Berner, Fred Brown, and Justin Sawyer for the love. Definitely, man.
Yes.
And for the folks who are watching this, if you guys are watching through the Facebook group, if you can, so we can mention you by name, hit that little StreamYard box that authorizes them to use your likeness. And then we can at least see your post come up, man.
Shout out Jason Donaway. He was another one Steve forgot. He was in the comments. Shout out to Bill Greathead. Just left a comment. He's listening to us from the UK. It's 2:30 a.m. and he's listening to us live.
Let's go. Oh man, love that.
That's an addict.
Thank you, bloody wanker.
Walking football addict.
Instead of late.
Yeah, and they'll never step late, do nothing, man.
Where do you see that comment, Phil, in the group?
He in the group. He just posted it, so maybe it just doesn't come through on our end yet. But
damn,
I just refreshed it, and there it was.
That's love, and that's awesome, man. That's one thing we like to do. So I see it right here. Yeah, listen to you guys from the UK. Yeah. Keep up the good work and keep safe. That's awesome, bro. Like that makes this podcast worth it, man. Like, you know, we're not.
Hey, you're dedicated when you listen to the podcast.
This is great.
You're dedicated when you listen to the podcast during booty call hours.
Yeah, it was a fun pod, man. Pod 78 is wrapped up, man. But always a pleasure, man. Y'all be safe and continue to hail. Peace.
Peace.